My mom turned her guest room into a nursery after I told her she will never meet my child. I'm currently pregnant with my first child and both my mom and stepdad have been terrible to me and my partner the entire time. Told us we would be unfit parents because we aren't married yet. Legitimately screamed at my partner for knocking up their little girl even though we planned the pregnancy. They would call him every day and harass him and showing up to his work. Try to convince him to leave me, so I would have no choice but to move back in with them. It got worse as time went on. I finally decided to cut contact with them. Having a child can already be a stressful time, and having them around to make it worse was not something I was okay with. My partner and I have gone through a lot with family drama the past couple years and having this baby has been one of the most exciting things for us. If my parents can't be nice to my partner then they don't get to see our baby. Plus they are the kind of people who don't wear masks in public and actively choose to be in large gatherings with no social distancing. So them seeing a newborn is out of the question. One day I sent my mom a very detailed email of why she is not allowed to be a part of my life anymore and will not be seeing her grandchild. To make things even better, I also noted that we will be moving across the country shortly after she is born to be closer to other family members. So not only is she cut off, but we are literally moving far away and never coming back. She responds by showing up at our house at 11 PM screaming outside our door about how it is her baby and she deserves to be there for it. I tell her to fuck off and eventually she leaves. Months go by and she will text me randomly asking about technical problems with her Wi-Fi router or something and needs help. Little things like that don't mean much to me and I sent her the info she needed. My cousin also had a virtual baby shower and sent my invitation to my mom's house accidentally so my mom came by to give it to me. Things slowly came to a point that we were fairly amicable with each other, but I still stood my ground about our boundaries and nothing else had changed. She knew this. Then she sent me a video today that blew my mind. She redecorated her entire guest room to be a nursery. Crib, changing table, 400 worth of newborn clothes, toy chest, stroller, a car seat for her car, and the list goes on. In the video she is in tears saying OMG I can't believe my baby is going to be here soon. This is where she will sleep. Where I will change her little diapers. These will be her toys. Is she psychotic? Her baby? Sleeping and living at her house. What? So I call her up immediately and I reiterate that we are still moving across the country soon and that she will have no contact with the baby before that. Her response? Oh okay we will see about that. Genuinely confused. What part of you will have no contact with this baby? Does she not understand? Or thinks will change in the next few weeks when she is born? Is she planning on stealing her from us? I'm at a loss for words. Edit. Wow so many great tips from you guys. Thank you for the advice. I showed my partner the comments I have been getting and I think we are starting to take this more seriously and will be contacting a lawyer on Monday. I wanted to mention a couple things to clarify as well. I have been seeing a psychotherapist the past few months strictly due to the relationship I have had with my mother throughout my life and all of that is documented. My midwife and hospital is also very aware of the situation and the emotional stress I have been going through. So we will definitely be utilizing this in the case that she tries to sue us or call CPS. Also, due to the virus, only my partner is allowed to be with me during the birth anyway. We will be keeping things hush until after we move. We would have moved months ago if it was financially possible for us. We also spent a lot of money on my birth center here that is non-refundable. She is due in August and our lease ends in September. We already have everything set up to move and our other family is helping us out. Just a waiting game at this point. My partner is my power of attorney. If something happens to me during the birth, we are currently in a state that is against grandparents' rights. The only way she would be able to sue for visitation is if both myself and my partner were deceased. Even after we move, she still cannot file for GPS. If she is living in this state, watch out. She might file false police reports about you being unfit or about your abusing the baby when she arrives. Also keep anything you could use as evidence later on in case she pulls this shit. And the video where she says the baby is going to be with her is a pot of gold. It shows intent. It shows how she sees the future. This is creepy beyond everything. This video should go to the cops yesterday plus filing a no contact and restriction order. Another editor pointed out that crazy grandmas have killed their mother or ran away with her baby, and if she put up a room like that, am I pretty sure she would or could be the next one. Me and my wife are currently expecting too, and I'm convinced that my mill is going to pull this kinda shit because I haven't had work since the pandemic hit. Hey buddy, if you haven't already put up some security cameras just in case. Reason I'm not putting this as an actual comment is that op would be moving shortly after, and that would be kind of a waste. I do have some cameras up, as well as every single conversation recorded in secure folders on my computer. I'm prepared to go full force if she dare to do anything. I've dealt with CPS, and they can be really understanding of your situation, as long as you show you're caring for your little one. If you're scared that they'll be called, just make sure to keep the house clean, their sleeping area is well kept and not dirty, and that there's food to eat. As long as you have all that and are providing for your child, they work with you. I'm not guaranteeing this is exactly how it works in every situation, but I do know that if they do a walkthrough of your house, which they typically do when called, then this is what they look for. Edit to add, if you are falsely accused of using drugs, which has happened to me, but I'm also a recovering addict, be prepared to go to a doctor's office immediately to take a drug test. You will be asked to pee with someone watching you, and if this happens, ask the CPS worker if they will cover the cost of the test and where to go, that they will pay for it. I had to drive to a clinic 20 minutes away even though I have a plethora of clinics closer to me, because CPS paid for the test to be done only at this specific clinic. This situation may not apply to you, but if I can provide any info that might help, I like to do so. I truly hope that you don't need to use any information I give and that things go smoothly for you. Contact the police and, maybe, a lawyer. You might want to think about getting a restraining order, and without doubt you should make certain that the hospital where you deliver knows that neither she nor your stepdad should be allowed anywhere near you or the baby. I really don't want to hear another story about a pregnant woman having their baby ripped from their womb, finding the mom dead. Jesus. Lawyer here, you can't just get a row for fun. There's likely not enough here, and mom would certainly contest it. Agreed. Especially in my state. When I was 18 I was in an abusive relationship that almost ended up getting me killed. I filed a row and gave photos, texts, witnesses, 3 other girls attempted to get one, etc. And it got denied. So in all honesty a row probably isn't in the cards for me. I have received a lot of advice on here though about how to avoid her doing anything in the first place, my legal rights as a parent and her lack of rights as a grandparent. Plus if CPS was called to my house, they wouldn't find anything pointing towards abuse or drug use in the home at all whatsoever. It's very difficult to get a restraining order. It literally restricts movement of another human being. You need a lot of evidence for that. Something else you need to be aware of is that you might hate your baby when it pops out. Not because you're a bad mother, but because of the stress that has surrounded your baby during pregnancy. Be very clear to your therapist about this and start working on that sooner rather than later. Completely agree. Another thing to look out for is that when you approach your due date, she is more than likely going to notice if you stop responding to your messages. She will think you are in labor and show up at every hospital and birthing center in the area, demanding to see you. These crazy bees do that so much that they call it crotch watch. You need to stop responding to her completely now. Good luck and congratulations. Get CPS ready now. She wants your baby, is going to do anything to get it. Keep all contact to texting or emails. Make a paper trail. If you need any help PM me and I can give you more advice. Stay safe. Your mom is a piece of work. Damn. Cross post this to r/justnormal and you'll get a ton of support from other people who've gone through the exact thing with their own mums or mills. Thank you. I will do that. Wow, you need to act quickly and you need to do what you have to do to protect your family. First thing you need to do is start documenting everything. Have it all in one spot. Have a special binder where you put everything. Include copies of your medical records or at least your appointments. Maybe talk with your doctor and see about getting a recent drug test. That way you have proof that you have not done drugs. Make sure your house is CPS ready. Have plenty of food and keep it relatively clean. That way if she called CPS on you, you can be ready. Get character reference letters. If you're working and you have a good rapport with your boss and your coworkers, get letters from them, friends, and other people that know you. Almost forgot, make sure you have cameras around your house/apartment. Get a Ring doorbell if possible. Check your state laws and consult an attorney. You want to make sure that she is not able to establish grandparents' rights. Is it at all possible that you'd be able to move before the baby's born? In what realm of reality does you having a baby make it hers? I agree with all the people saying to get a restraining order. It doesn't sound like she'll stop anytime soon. She believes that, since she gave birth to me, that I'm hers. So anything that comes from me is also hers. It is psychotic, but that's what she thinks. You're worried she's being unsafe with coronavirus exposure. I agree with getting a restraining order as soon as possible. That restraining order can help a lot if she does make allegations against you with the police. Always keep a copy with you, so it's immediately at hand. If police just turn up, plan on her violating a restraining order or simply ignoring your wishes any time after the child is born. Even before you leave the hospital, notify the hospital that you're concerned about possible kidnapping, so they can be wary. Please have several friends with you when you leave the hospital, so she can't just rush up as you leave. Make sure your home is secure and nobody else has a key. Change locks if necessary. A friend or relative in a moment of weakness could give her their copy of your house key with the right excuse and she may already have a copy. Don't give her a chance. Best of luck. And congrats on the new baby. I wish you and your new family all the happiness you deserve. I hope you move soon. Also, if she comes to your house again, you have every right to call the cops on her. You can tell them that you don't want her any shape and form near you, your partner and baby. I'm going to alarm you. I don't want to, but I am. She's going to lie to any law enforcement, wherever you are, that you were going to let her adopt your baby. Make preemptive calls and child services, cops, etc. Stop talking with her on the phone or in person. You want to keep a log of all your texts with her, or even her voicemails, that she will probably leave. If she confronts you, start video recording ASAP. Her claiming she will have your baby before they are born should help as well. Honestly, you really shouldn't have told her much. Personal experience, I guess, but here we are. Simply put, get your affairs sorted as soon as possible. Don't tell her where, when or even how you're going to give birth. Deliver the child and run for it. She will try anything to get what she wants. She's already called your unborn child hers. If possible, get a restraining order against her until you move. Explain she is a threat to your baby and has made threats / has been abusive towards you and your partner. Keep the video message. It's proof of how psychotic she is in case she files a false police report against you, as well as the email you sent her about the no contact. Does her side of the family have any history of mental illness? She sounds batshit crazy. I have some experience with a just no mom who threatened to take my kids. Been around the block with my crazy narc mom one. Stop all communication. Doesn't have to be forever, but for now it's dangerous to keep talking with her. You don't owe her an explanation. You don't owe her an apology. Nothing. No text replies. No acknowledging her if she comes to your door. No answering the phone when it's her. If it makes it easier, block her on everything. 2. Get a Wi-Fi security camera for every door into the house. You can take these with you when you move. If you get battery operated ones, be sure to get an extra battery pack so you can always have one charged and ready to swap out. Back up any files of her that appear on the cameras. 3. Lock down social media. Don't post updates. Don't post plans. Don't post pictures or ask for help. Even if you block her, she will find flying monkeys to comb through your information. In fact, you can do what I did 13 years ago and go dark. Let people know you're taking a break. And then just ghost social media. If you want to share pictures with friends you trust, share stuff directly through texts or by calling. If you post anything online, it can and probably will be found by her. 4. Privatize. If you usually park in the driveway, park in the garage and close it. If you usually leave curtains open, close them. If you usually leave doors unlocked, lock them. If you usually have lights on at night, put them on a timer switch so they will turn on and off at the usual times. If you leave for the hospital, if she's anything like my mom, after I cut my mom off, she's gonna be driving by. She's gonna be walking up and peering in windows. She's gonna try the doors. And if it's getting close to your due date and she can tell ya, not home, she's gonna try the hospital next. 5. Lock down the birthday. If you can, arrange to have a neighbor or friend drive you and your so. That leaves your vehicles at home and not sitting in a hospital parking lot. Register as private. Only person allowed to visit or see baby is your so. Warn the staff of a possible visit and potential lies/kidnapping by your mom. 6. Take care of yourself. You're making a baby. You're moving. You're going through a rough time. Do things that make you happy. Do things that help you de-stress. If there is anything you can pack now, do it. Once baby is here, everything takes several times as long to get done. You got this. I know it's scary. I've had my own brush with a mom who stomped boundaries and eventually got no contact after. She threatened to take my kids. It sucks. No one should go through that. I'm so sorry you are joining the Just No Mom group. Good luck with your new family and the move. I hope it all goes smoothly. This is straight creepy. Please keep any and all evidence of any correspondence. Write down dates and events that happen. I can absolutely see her suing for grandparent rights. Sending child services to you under false pretenses. Be careful. I think she is planning on making up so many lies and making people believe them until you lose custody and she gets the kid. Document. Get a copy of that video, along with a statement describing already being very low contact with her, over the police, and to DCFS. Warn both that she is unhinged and may attempt false reports and or kidnapping of your newborn, and show them the video, the statements on the call, the history, all of it. Ask for a protective order. Lock up every single doctor with a password protect, and inform the hospital that you are to be unlisted and that no one but your spouse is allowed in. Password protect all of the doctors/hospitals. Protect yourself ahead of time, since you know for sure she is about to try something nefarious. Let the hospital know that she is not allowed to know you're there, have information about the baby, or visit. They will act as bouncers for you. If you can move up the date of your move, or even just go on ahead to give birth there in advance of moving, it might be worthwhile. Someone else suggested looking into a restraining order. I don't think that's too far. You know your mum better than Reddit does. And if you think she's capable of kidnapping your child, you need an row on your side. It sounds to me like she just heard about grandparents' rights lesson. If she is truly willing to go fire and brimstone to get that baby, then you need to stop seeing her as your mother and start seeing her as a legitimate threat. Getting a child taken away from a mother and father is incredibly easy through the CPS system. You absolutely need to start a paper trail. You need hard proof that you and your so are going to be fit parents. Document all your doctor visits. Tell them about your mother and your thoughts and fears. Tell them that you want to protect your future family and would very much like to have signed documents by the doctor or doctors regarding your visits. Next, start going to parenting classes. Go everywhere. Take every class. Get proof. Put it on social media. Do everything you can to buff your resume and prove yourself as being careful parents that only want the best for their child. After that, you have to deal with your mom. Record every conversation you have, but preferably, go no contact. I mean zero contact. Delete her phone number. Just assume she died of a heart attack or car crash. Have a funeral if it helps, but remove her presence from your life entirely. She wants to steal your baby from you. If you truly care about your child's future, then you need to take this as serious as if someone told you they were going to harm your baby. Because your mother is exhibiting classic signs of psychosis. This is legit mental instability. She is failing to separate what she believes from what is real. Do you understand that? Do you get that a woman who cannot different from reality and fantasy wants to steal your baby from you? And she can. If you take this as a joke, you're gambling with your future family. I'm sorry if I'm coming off as brash or angsty. I'm just very concerned for your family's well-being. My cousin works as a family lawyer. Over the years, she's recounted so many stories of how, just because one part of the family did a better job of falsifying or keeping proper records, they were able to tear a family apart. Because that's how this system works. They don't joke around in court about this stuff. If you have enough evidence, and you can make people believe it, you can easily have someone's child taken away. It is so unbelievably frighteningly easy to destroy lives. So please do everything you can. Listen to the other Redditors here. Take their advice too. This isn't a game. This isn't a joke. This is your family's future. Your unborn child's future. I'm in no way excusing your mother's behavior, nor am I blaming you for anything. I'm simply pointing out what I see to be the reason why your mother would think building a nursery for your baby is a great idea. So you dropped a bomb on her. You are cutting her out of your life, cutting off access to her grandchild, and top it all off, you're moving across the country. You said you were 100% serious, and I'm sure your mother thought you weren't bluffing. But I think your mother also knew something, of which you may or may not be aware. All she had to do was slowly but surely chip away at your resolve. A text message about her woofy here, an email about missing car keys there. Individually these little interactions meant nothing, but add them all up, and what did you get? Your mother is back in your good graces. Yes, you are still serious about moving, and your relationship with her hasn't magically been fixed. But she was able to weasel her way back into your life. She recognized that. She also recognizes that if she just continues on this path, eventually, you two will be back to square one. Has she ever lost a pregnancy or child? It seems like she is going through a psychological break. You should tell close family members of hers what has happened, and that you are concerned and that they need to do something. But you should stay far away. I worry she might hurt you. I don't know where you live, but having been a part of Just No Mill for a while as a reader / looking for support myself, you need to know what rights grandparents have in your state, because as far as I can tell, in some of the states in the US there doesn't even need to be a relationship in place between the parents and grandparents for the state to order a relationship to be made. That can also mean that if you give birth in one state then move to another, your mother could file in the baby's birth state, and you would then be in a bigger shit show. As I said, not in the states myself, and don't know if you are, nor what state you are in, but please look into the rights that even a bad grandparent can have. If your area has grandparents' rights, then your mom can have the court prevent you from moving once the baby arrives, until the case is decided. Move as soon as possible, and before she can file for visitation or custody. Not that she has a chance in hell of either. If you move soon enough and meet the residency requirements for the new area, when your mom files in old state they won't be able to force you to return for court. She will have to refile in your new location. Also, if you and your partner get married now, then many places won't allow a grandparent to sue for visitation if the parents are married when the child is born. It sucks if you weren't ever planning on getting married, but it is one of the best ways to prevent your mom from forcing her way into your child's life. I told my mom in tears that I was pregnant and that I didn't want her telling our family members, specifically dad, grandma and my aunt, her sister. Well, what's the first thing she does? Tells grandma and aunt about the baby. I was so mad. She told me it was an accident. Yeah, right. Well, my grandma disowned me, and my aunt told her family, which then I didn't want to see out of embarrassment because we weren't married, and it was a surprised pregnancy for all of us because my fiancé and I couldn't have babies said by different doctors. I had a netting that prevented me from becoming pregnant, and he had a 1 out of 100 chance. Well, 5 months later she told my dad, which is understandable, because he's a prick and I didn't want to tell him myself, but then my mom got all the yelling turned toward her and not me. Then he disowned me, didn't even want to look at the baby or even hold her whenever I went to my mom's when he was there. It was heartbreaking. You need to stop talking to her like months ago, otherwise you literally gave her the legal groundwork to apply / sue for grandparents' rights once your child is born. That's what texting / asking you amicable about technical problems and help basically is, since that's other way to gain access to your child without calling CPS. Yes, speak to a lawyer both at your current residence now and when you move across the country. Regarding that, you truly need to take the situation seriously because she might just win the family court case to gain custody and/or access to your child due to those texts. Depending on what state you're in, she could try for grandparents' rights. In New York, even if the grandparents haven't met the grandkids, the judge has said it's the parents' fault for not allowing a relationship and call you an abuser. Be careful, document everything. Record her and her phone calls. Move to Florida. They are very against grandparents' rights. We are currently living in Florida actually, and the baby will be born here. I researched the law here, and it said that the only rights she would have is if we both died. We are moving to North Carolina though, and things seem a bit different there. But my mom will still be in Florida, so I'm not sure how that works. Not to reiterate if others mentioned it already. But when you do move, you should get in contact with the local PD, social work office, etc., and fill them in, letting them know that you are new to town and left a pretty tense situation behind will help you immediately get to know more about where you live, and in the long run, in case anything happens. You might think you moved away, but FL to NC is less than a day's drive if you are determined enough. Based on the limited info you provided, I would be inclined to think that there is still a possibility that she might pull something. It lowers your risk to be sure, but doesn't eliminate it. Above all, try to take care of yourself. Reach out to anyone you trust as a support group. Childbirth is a stressful situation at the best of times. Having others at your back will make it easier. You have already gotten a lot of great advice here, so I'm just going to say a couple things which may or may not have been mentioned. But just in case, please both you and your partner should change your phone numbers and not give your mom or anyone likely to tell her your new phone numbers or the address of your new place where you're moving. Hopefully she doesn't have the addresses of the family that will be with you either, in case you want other members of your family to be able to call you but you are worried that they might slip up and tell your mom. Also get a Google Voice number to give to anyone who might tell your mom and have it connected to your phone so it'll still ring through but won't be traceable to your phone since it's not your actual phone's phone number, and you can easily change the Google Voice number anytime if it gets leaked. I would also privatize any and all social media. Congratulations on your baby, and you are already being good parents by getting yourselves and your baby out of a bad situation and not letting the child near or fool people just because their family, like many of us, have trouble with. You rock. People that have been in contact with the outer world without masks or social distancing is a big no-no, especially for a baby. You may want to preemptively talk to the police / child welfare about this. Clearly she is delusional and not quite right in the head. That makes her extremely dangerous. She could make false claims to authorities about you and your partner's abilities as parents in an attempt to stop you moving or get custody of your child. I would talk to them about this. Document everything, get cameras if you can. Cut off all contact immediately and do not respond to her. And be cautious after dark. This woman is a danger to you, your partner and your child. Have no doubt about that. Please make sure you communicate this with your health officials well before you're in labor, as to not leave the door open for her to manipulate staff and be at the hospital. And even lie and tell her you changed hospitals to cover your ass. Or tell the people you know are information leakers to throw her off track. It's scary and intense enough giving birth. It sounds like your mum is only going to make it traumatizing for you. Do you really want her smear on your child's birthday? Months go by and she will text me randomly asking about technical problems with her Wi-Fi router or something and needs help. Little things like that don't mean much to me, and I sent her the info she needed. Stop fucking doing that shit. You're just enabling her. You said you're cutting her off and moving to the other side of the country, then start being nice to her again. I'll tell you this piece of advice. Your mom has been using a small trick on you. It's called cognitive dissonance. Human brain doesn't understand how / why you'd help someone you don't like, and thus will try to change dynamics so it makes sense. So if you think someone doesn't like you, you can ask to borrow a pen. Very few people wouldn't help you with such a simple request. Over time, this person will begin to like you a little bit more. Your mom did exactly that by asking you simple wee-fee questions. I can't say it was intentional on her part, but this is why you got closer after you emailed her out of your life. And as any entitled people, she jumped to conclusions with that closeness and tried to have things her way. I would keep a record of your child's first weeks in video preferably. It sounds so horrible, but if she's already spending money on a child she says is here, then makes an open-ended threat of "we'll see about that CCTV" as a must with audio. You need to be careful. We have all seen some crazy as heck stories on here. And the last thing I want is you to update another ep story in a few months. I really hope it doesn't come to this, and I only wish happiness and calm for your future little family. I'm sorry you have to go through this while pregnant too.